Welcome to This Explainer. I'm really thrilled you're here today because we're tackling something that literally affects every single one of us. If you've been staring at your bank account lately, just kind of wondering why making money feels so incredibly difficult, listen, you are not alone. So many of us sit back and watch as certain people seem to effortlessly print millions while they sleep, right? Meanwhile, the rest of us are stuck playing this endless, exhausting game of tug of war with our EMIs and monthly bills. Well, the source material we're diving into today argues that this struggle, it actually isn't your fault. It's your programming. So today, we're going to completely delete that flawed financial software in your mind.
So let me ask you straight up, why is making money so hard? Really think about it for a second. We've all been fed the exact same childhood lesson, haven't we? Work hard, put your head down, sweat, and the wealth will inevitably follow. Well, our sources today reveal a really tough truth. That childhood lesson is actually a massive scam. The whole idea that grueling, back-breaking physical labor automatically guarantees wealth is just completely false. And honestly, it's keeping millions of people trapped in a cycle of total exhaustion.
I think this brilliantly illustrates the reality of that scam. Quote, "If hard work brought money, the richest man in the city would be a construction worker, not you." Wow, that is an absolute gut punch of a quote, isn't it? But it's true. It completely shatters the illusion we've been sold our whole lives. If simply grinding away hours and sweating through physical labor was the true path to riches, the people doing the absolute heaviest lifting on construction sites in the blazing sun would be the billionaires. But they aren't. The equation of sweat equals money is fundamentally broken.
Okay, so if it's not sweat, let's understand what money actually is. Culturally, we often view money as this profound struggle, like a rare physical object that we need to grab onto and grip super tightly. But the reality is entirely different. Money is an energy. Actually, think of it like a scoreboard. It simply tracks the size of the problems you are solving for other people. The bigger the problem you solve for the market, the bigger the number on your scoreboard. It flows to where value is created, not where the most physical effort is exerted. There is a stark contrast in how we approach this. Are you selling your time, or are you building a system? Here is the harsh reality. If you work 10 hours a day to earn a fixed wage, you're basically selling your most precious limited asset, your very breaths, your literal lifespan, for pennies. You only have so much time. Wealthy people, on the other hand, never just sell their time. They build systems. They create frameworks that continue to do the work and generate value for them even when they step completely away. Think about it like a leaky tap. If you stand right under it, catching the drops of water with your bare hands, sure, you're getting water, but the absolute second you walk away, the water stops. That is your standard job. Now imagine simply placing a large bucket under that exact same tap and walking away to take a nap. The bucket fills up on its own. That is a system. Society has taught us that standing there, painfully catching drops with our hands, is honesty and hard work. But let's expose the foolishness of that. It's honestly just a highly inefficient way to operate.
So the absolutely crucial underlying concept here is the psychology of scale. I want to slow down the pace for just a second to ensure this really lands, because this right here is the secret sauce the wealthy used. Scale means moving entirely beyond your own individual physical limitations. It's the ability to generate exponential output and reach thousands of people without putting in exponential personal effort. It's about removing your physical presence as the main bottleneck to your earning potential.
A classic tea stall analogy perfectly illustrates this psychology of scale. Picture someone manually making and selling 100 cups of tea a day. They're exhausted, their profit margins are tiny, and their reach is strictly local. Now picture a second person who takes that exact same tea-making process, puts it into an automated machine, and installs 1,000 of those machines across the entire country. That person is sleeping comfortably while 1,000 machines serve tea. So who's making more money with way less physical effort? The person with the machines? Obviously. Why? Because they utilized leverage.
Which brings us right to the underlying math of the wealth gap. Making money feels incredibly hard for the middle class because they rely entirely on addition. It's 100 plus 100 plus 100. It's working an extra shift, taking on a second job, trading more and more hours. But true wealth is actually created through multiplication. You use leverage, whether that's other people's talent, the massive global reach of the internet, or automated machinery. When you shift your mindset from adding your own hours to multiplying your systems, wealth comes rushing in like a flood.
Now we really have to shift the narrative to a very blunt truth. Money follows value, not sweat. When you walk into a store and hand over your hard-earned money for a product, you do it because the value of that product is higher to you than the cash in your hand, right? The market operates the exact same way. The market does not care about your back pain, it does not care about your exhaustion, or how many hours you stayed up late to finish something. It literally only asks one question: what's in it for me?
Let's look at a specific number to put this into perspective. Say a person is earning exactly 10,000 rupees a month. According to the logic of our source material, it is a simple, undeniable mathematical fact that this person is currently only providing 10,000 rupees worth of value to the market. It is as straightforward as 2 plus 2 equaling 4. There's no magic or bad luck involved here. If you want to change that number, you can't just pray for wealth, you have to figure out how to massively increase the value you deliver. But instead of increasing value, people tend to cling to a specific set of excuses. We see the rigid 9-to-5 mindset, extreme penny pinching instead of actually investing, a paralyzing fear of taking any risks, and deeply internalizing this limiting middle-class identity. People will literally pray to the universe for wealth, but absolutely refuse to change these exact habits. Wealth requires a fundamental rewrite of your internal software. It's not just about desiring money, it's about finally shedding the excuses that block it.
So how do you actually rewrite that software? The ultimate secret method revealed in our source is acquiring high-income skills. You must learn to do what only 1% of the world knows how to do. When you possess a rare, highly leveraged skill, the dynamic completely flips. You no longer have to blindly chase money. People will actively chase you with their money to access your value. It's the ultimate proof that using your brain strategically will always beat sweating through your shirt.
All right, moving right along to the rules of the money game. Because at the end of the day, money is just a structured game.
And if you walk onto the field without knowing the rules, you're going to lose. Here are 2 of those actionable rules laid out clearly. Rule 1. Build things that make money. Never work solely for the paycheck. Work to build assets and systems that will eventually pay you on autopilot. Rule 2. Respect your time value. Listen, this is absolutely huge. If you decide to walk for 30 minutes in the blazing heat just to save 20 rupees on a rickshaw, you will never be wealthy. Why? Because you've just subconsciously declared to yourself that 30 minutes of your very life is worth less than 20 rupees. You have to stop devaluing your own time.
Because honestly, poverty is a choice in the era of AI and the internet. Now, I know that sounds incredibly harsh and direct, but the message here is deeply motivational and entirely about accountability. Remaining stuck in a low-value loop today, when you literally have the magic of global connectivity and artificial intelligence sitting right there in your pocket, is a failure to update your own system. The universe might hand you the paper, but you hold the pen. You have the tools to write your own destiny right now.
I want to wrap up this explainer with a provocative mirror exercise. The next time you look in the mirror, I want you to ask yourself this exact question. Am I still running behind money? Or did I do something today? Did I build a system? Did I learn a skill? To make money run behind me? The honest answer might be a really tough pill to swallow today, but it is exactly the wake-up call you need to find your wealth switch. Go find that switch. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember, the game of wealth is out there waiting for you to play it by the right rules.